Today, Dr. Shrink will be demonstrating how to successfully wrap a sailboat, mast up, for the winter storage season. The techniques used here can be applied when wrapping any single-masted sailboat. We will begin with the strapping. The strapping will be secured to various locations on the sailboat to ensure proper pitch to shed unwanted snow during the winter storage season. Begin by securing the strapping to the mast in the forward pulpit. We will start with the mast. When securing the strapping to the mast, ensure it is high enough to allow ample pitch to shed snow and ice. Tie your strap to the mast, leaving plenty of extra to secure to the forward pulpit strap. To secure the forward pulpit strap, we recommend making a V pattern with your strapping, securing to the strap on both port and starboard sides of the rail. Your strapping from the mast and strapping from the pulpit will be connected using a buckle and strap tensioning tool. The same concept applies to the strapping system for the pushpit rails. Secure a strap from the same location on the mast as you did to the forward section of the vessel, again leaving yourself plenty of strapping to connect to the pushpit strap. For the pushpit strapping, create a V pattern from the wide points on the starboard and port side of the pushpit rails and secure both straps together once again using a buckle and strap tensioning tool. Here you will see the strap being tightened with a strap tensioning tool. Just like the forward bow straps, knot off the excess strap and cut away any excess. At this time, you will also want to tape your buckles to ensure no hot spots or holes are created in your finished shrink wrap cover. For this application, we will also be installing a support post with end caps in the cockpit of the vessel for increased strapping stability. Measure your post like we have done here, and cut your 2x4 to size, and secure end caps to each end. To ensure that your end cap is secure, run a line perpendicular from your existing strapping through the end cap around the hull of your vessel. Be sure to place your support post in the cockpit, so when wrapped around the hull, the strapping sits behind the keel. Once this is completed, you will secure your strapping with a buckle and strap tensioning tool. Be sure to once again tape your buckle. We will now move on to the perimeter band. To install a perimeter band, we will install straps from the cleats or rails with an open loop on the end. As you can see here, the loops will secure the perimeter band just above the waterline of the vessel. You may secure your perimeter band as high or as low as you like, but if unsure, use the waterline as a guide, as this will ensure an even perimeter band around the entire vessel. Much like the installation of the perimeter band on other vessels, start at the rear and loop your band through each of the straps around the entire perimeter of your boat, ending at the stern. Here you will use a buckle and a strap tensioning tool to secure your perimeter band. Be sure to use padding or protection against your hull when using the strap tensioning tool. Apply even tension to the strap to ensure that it is a snug fit against the hull. When you have tension in the strap, be sure to cut your excess strapping, tie off, and tape your buckle. Now that your perimeter band is complete, your shrink wrap substructure is now finished. We will now measure for your shrink wrap cover. We will have 2 sheets of film, one for the bow section to the mast, and one from the mast back to the stern. Here is how we will measure these sections. For the bow section, we will first measure the length. We do this by measuring from the mast to the forward pulpit and down the bow to the perimeter band. We will add an additional 4 feet to this, 2 at the mast and 2 at the perimeter band, for additional film needed for our welds. This gives us our overall length. We repeat this same concept for the stern film piece. For the length, we measure from the mast over the end cap to the pushpit rail. From here, we will measure down to the perimeter band and add 4 feet, 2 at the mast and 2 at the perimeter band, for additional film needed for our welds. This gives us our overall length. We now need to measure for the width. We do this by measuring from the connection point of the strapping on the mast to the top of the lifeline, down to the perimeter band. We then add 1 foot to this measurement to ensure we have enough material for our weld. We double this for our overall width. Now that we have the measurements of your film, we will cut the film to length. This will make it much easier to install from the elevated position of the vessel. Roll out your film in a clean and dry area to avoid debris on your film. Measure and cut with a film knife. Once your 2 pieces have been cut, we will begin installing the film. We will begin by installing the bow piece. Unwrap your film from the deck of the vessel and find its center point. You will secure the film to the mast with tape. Be sure to leave about 2 feet of excess beyond the mast, which you will use for your weld piece to the stern. As you drape the bow, you will cut slits in the film around the front stay, side stays, and mast as illustrated here. You will do this to both port and starboard sides of the film. Once you have cut these slits and fitted the film centered over the bow, unfold the entire bow piece. You will now install the stern piece. Take your film onto the deck of the vessel, and much like the bow piece, find the center point. You will cut slits in the film around the back stay, side stays, and mast as illustrated here. Be sure to once again leave about 2 feet of excess for your weld to the bow piece. Once you have found the center and taped your bow and stern pieces, you must weld the film around the mast, between the mast and the side stays, on both port and starboard sides of the boat, as this area will not be accessible once the entire vessel has been draped. You can see in this diagram the area to be welded before getting off deck. Now that you have the entire vessel draped, you will tuck the film under the perimeter band to create your weld and also cut any excess film to conform with the lines of the vessel. Remember, you will need approximately 1 foot of film to tuck around the perimeter band for a secure weld that will last the entire storage season. You will notice the entire perimeter has been tucked with the exception of the bow and stern section behind the transom. This will be overlapped and welded much like the center weld. Cut away any excess film, giving yourself approximately 1 to 2 feet of film to join together and weld in these areas. Once all of your bow and stern sections have been welded, you may weld your film around the perimeter band. As you make your way around the boat, you may also weld the center section, joining the bow and stern film pieces. Now that your welds have been completed, we will install belly bands to ensure your cover stays in place during the shrinking process. For this application, we have installed 2 bands, one on the bow side of the keel and one towards the stern. Now you will start shrinking the primary cover. This will be done just like any other vessel, moving slowly and heating evenly side to side from bottom to top. Shrink in sections and do not overheat to avoid holes. As you can see here, we are using an extension on our heat tool to make shrinking this elevated cover easier and safer to perform from a ladder and at ground level. Without an extension, this cover would be nearly impossible to shrink, so be sure to get an extension when tackling a project of this size. Once your cover shrinking is complete, you will tape all of your vertical seams. Once all of your seams have been taped, you will install ventilation. To determine the number of vents, see our venting chart in our catalog or view our online resources at dr-shrink.com. Congratulations, you have now successfully wrapped a sailboat, mast up. For more information on shrink wrapping and additional how-to training videos, visit our YouTube channel or visit us online at drshrink.com. That's dr-shrink.com. You may also contact our customer service department, and they will be more than happy to assist you in any way they can. If you prefer hands-on training, contact us to discuss Shrink Wrap U, our one-day on-site course that will take you through the entire shrink wrap process.